guys. We'll get started in just a minute here. I do not know if AR and Dev are muted or unmuted because I had to redo audio settings. AR, say a few words and let's find out.
I was with
They can
people
hear you.
listening with absolutely no context. I looked it up. Joe was actually 5th in that ranking, so it's not as fun.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get to that.
Sora was on the bottom.
You know, it's funny. I remember as we were finishing up the show 2 weeks ago and musing on if we do an emergency fill-in, and I remember Dev going, no, there's no reason to. We'll just do a super packed episode in 2 weeks. And that's definitely fucking happening.
Yeah.
I've given serious thought to what phrasing I will use when we get distracted, and I have to just go, we need to be back on track because holy hell. They went completely fucking nuts the last 2 weeks.
We knew they were going to.
We did. Someone in chat confirm when you guys can hear that you can hear all three of us, and then we will get started because, oh man, Toei and Bandai love a movie.
My favorite comment here is that I put Koshiro 7th, but my comment on it was account skimming, securities fraud, and hacking government installations are only crimes if you're sloppy.
Oh, fuck. Okay, you can hear us all? You guys ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. Need to prepare and stretch here. 1 second. Welcome to the With the Will podcast. We're here to entertain, inform about it while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, run with the Will, and produce Digimon on Blu-ray.
I'm AR Pulver from Digimon System Restore. I get to say that again.
I'm DevQ, and I'm here to be gay and do crime.
I like how Dev had the perfect setup to advertise for Wikimon, and she chose not to.
Nah.
Also,
I like that one better.
It was better. I thought she'd go for it, and then I could set up the joke I had ready to go, which I'm going to use anyways. So, Dev.
Do it.
I pulled up an article on Wikimon about Terriermon, and I was like, I wonder how much information Wikimon has about Terriermon, actual, like, synopsis type stuff. It's like 2 lines, one for Adventureverse, one for Tamers.
Yeah, hey, they're someone's partner.
Ironically, someone in the With the Will Discord was asking about Star Trek at the same time. And I pulled up a clip to show them of a funny moment, and I went, I wonder if this is mentioned on Memory Alpha, the big Star Trek wiki. So I looked it up. 4 paragraphs on the USS Lollipop, a fake made-up ship that appeared in 1 line of dialogue.
Goddamn.
A single line of dialogue for a fake ship meant to find out if someone's real or an AI has more information than Terriermon.
Yeah, but it's not like Terriermon's made any meaningful contributions to the franchise.
He wore a lab coat one time.
No, never. Oh yeah, you gotta. Yep. Yeah, you need a whole. I think you need 4 paragraphs on that alone. Just like the 2 paragraphs on Adventure Tamers, it's fine. But no, you need a dissertation. Now,
before we get to the news apocalypse, let's first go over something that the news has not finished coming in yet. Where I've put together an article. I've tweeted about it and made 1 or 2 possibly inappropriate jokes about it, which no one has found them inappropriate, which makes them funnier. Junya Akeda, who's Joe in Tri and Kazuna, has been arrested for banking fraud. Now, I should point this out. We did get further information. At least part of the story was him dressing up as a cop and, like, going to houses and taking people's bank cards and shit.
Oh.
And when I say that's part of the story, apparently they have actual, like, video footage of him doing this.
That's way sexier than normal fraud.
Well, I should point out, his most famous role is him being a pirate. And that's literally...
I hope he gets to keep that.
That's literally the maybe inappropriate joke I made on Twitter was, right after he got arrested, I just did this. His most famous role is playing a pirate. I'm not saying another word on that subject. So... at some point, I may write an article. I'm kind of like sitting and waiting to see, like, because, like, we found out, not because of a police report or information, his agency put out a press release dropping him saying he was arrested. They haven't talked to him directly, but they're reasonably sure what's going on. And then, like, a few other places, like, we don't have the details yet. We're waiting to hear because we haven't heard from him. because it's at that stage of prison where they aren't letting him call out minus getting a lawyer. So it's sort of
Japan's legal system's weird.
Yeah. So all we can say is this: older Joe arrested for bank fraud. Younger Joe has multiple harems and is famous for it. So we can, and of course Masami Kikuchi's back playing Joe again in the game, so we get to make that the Tenchi and 1,000 other harem jokes, and then let us move on from Ikeda and the Slammer to, good God, I need to get a drink and clear my throat before we start, because Jesus Christ,
I thought that good God was about the Seekers chapters.
You know how they're actually like vaguely interesting.
Yeah,
so
vaguely, they're always vaguely interesting. This was the dramatic moment that was told in such an understated way that it almost took all of the punch out of it.
So 3-6, good character stuff, way too much exposition of it, and 3-6 also winks at shit a bit too much for me.
Oh, yes.
3-6 keeps stopping to go, Like even down to the Digimon partners, it's meant to give there's too much. And then also all these people are brilliant, pay attention, know each other, talk to each other, but no one can figure out how. Oh, Saya has the most trouble mind linking, but she has the best bond. And she's also getting physically ill each time it happens. And there's no awareness of what that could mean or even consideration in the story to it. And the reason I call that winking is we know what it's going to lead to, what it's leading to. It's that because she has a better connection to it. It's taking more out of her, blah, 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 blah. But the story is so disinterested in even...
It's trying to deliver the facts and not really focusing on the emotional aspects. Yeah.
Which is... And the reason why it bothers me is there's no point to even having a flashback with Saya if it's not going to be about emotion.
Yeah, and that's the point. It's one of the issues is that this whole chapter is kind of, in a way, through the eyes of Yulin, who doesn't seem to me to be the most sympathetic person in the world.
Not only that, she hasn't really been written as an interesting character. And even in the flashbacks, she's not really written all that interesting. She's
the one watching the interesting characters.
Well, here's the other weird part is they don't, and this isn't a translation thing as far as I can tell, she's not even written consistently. Like, she seems actually annoyed at them being the cute couple. And then she stops to take a photo, seemingly to send it to them later as whatever, but you need some separation.
I
like that moment, but it feels like there needs to be at least a line of a bridge between the annoyance and doing it.
You don't. That's a cute writing thing where it's like your actions betray your.
So yes,
your
but it's with a character we have not gotten to know good enough to.
Well, this is the sort of thing that's supposed to give you information on the character. That moment told me more about Yulin than
here's the thing. It's a Yulin from years ago who may not exist anymore.
Oh yeah, of course.
We have not gotten enough time with modern Yulin to decide, is this where we're supposed to go, oh, the actual Yulin may still be in there in the future, or has she become a completely different person? It doesn't matter. Now, theoretically, it's a lazy story. We know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
But I would like to imagine the story doing it here's the thing. So 7 I don't like, and I'm very happy the prologue stuff seems to be done. It's too much.
I hope so.
It's been too much separation for me.
Oh, by the way, this happened.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's
7 was rough.
It's too much.
7.
No, see, I like 7, but there's at this point it's basically 2 months of separation from the story that's running roughly a year.
Yeah.
It's too much.
That's all accurate. My issue with 7 is they really didn't hammer down on what is supposed to be a very dramatic moment, but it's like
it's after the dramatic moment.
it was so it's also so telegraphed and so told so unemotionally that I just like, okay, the thing we all expected to happen happened, and there just wasn't any heart to it.
See, I actually like this one more than some of the last few, but you aren't wrong. Part of the issue is this version of Yulin is meant to be very dispassionate, I would guess is the way I would put it.
Yes.
And seeing it through her eyes, skipping over the dramatic stuff, means that we don't ever. I don't say this to be mean. You need the gut punch of actually someone screaming for her as something's happening. And here's the problem. They don't want us to see anything so they can reveal whatever happened later.
This was told as if it really was. Like, some of the previous sessions in this chapter were told kind of in real time. Like, the 3-6 was kind of told, this is what's happening in this moment, and it wasn't, you kind of lose that it's a flashback. 3-7 was told very much as it was a flashback, and it really couldn't have. Because you really wanted to be in that moment. Like, what is going on with them? How are they freaking out about their lack of visibility and all that? That's really, like, that's your moment to really try to scare us and put that intensity into there.
And here's the thing. The entire reason they don't show it is it's going to be revealed it's X, Y, or Z, and she's actually fine, and blah, 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 blah.
But their conditions allow you to get away with that.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. Is
like you can still be in that moment and have that intensity.
What I'm saying is they've made the actual writing choice of they don't want us to know anything at that moment now, and then later they're going to do the here's what happened. When what they should be doing, and they tell us this, which is what makes it work, like you're saying. We know from Yulin's perspective, she was there. She saw things go to shit, but she did not actually see what happens.
You can, and even then, you can still
that's what I'm saying.
And get us more into the moment without revealing whatever surprise.
No, that's what I'm saying is the people who were there outside of Saya. They were there. They were involved with it. They did not see whatever happens. They just see it going to hell. They do not actually see whatever it is the writer has skipped to not show us.
Yeah,
you could easily.
They also explain it's like a blurb.
No, that's what I'm saying. They could show it to us from they could show it to us from Yulin's perspective and not reveal whatever it is she doesn't know anyways. Is where my issue is with it. The characters who survived, and here's the thing. What's Tartarus? I don't remember his name.
Kosuke.
Kosuke might know. We don't know if he's telling the truth because we don't have his perspective. Yulin has no fucking idea. You could give us the entire thing from her perspective without revealing anything. She does not know.
You could still get into what she's doing.
That's what I'm saying.
What's going through for her.
Is she was there. And that's weirdly where we should be seeing her. So yeah. We will see. It appears we're back to the present. I'm slightly off on if it's the present or if it's slightly before and it's meant to be a swerve and it's a different time she visited him. I think it's the present, though.
Yeah, I think it's whenever the last time we saw.
That's what I
them
think.
Meeting.
I'm kind of side-eyeing it, going, this could be a year earlier, and it's a swerve to tell us something else. Because here's why I'm wondering. This is deep chapter 3. Does it really make sense to go back to the present when there's like a few weeks left at most?
I think you can still do a little bit in the present.
No, you're right, but
I think having a flash forwarding just a little bit, and you're only going to a year before. That's getting too cluttered even for Seekers.
I mean, here's the thing. We started off with an intermission chapter, which really should have just been chapter 3.
They could do it. I'm saying that it's like if they don't want to dig themselves further into a grave, they shouldn't.
They shouldn't. I still weirdly keep going. Any given week, it feels like this is going to pick up and hit right.
I know, right? I still want to keep reading. I still want to follow the story.
That's like the thing. Like, it is not a good story. There's some interesting stuff. The exposition is killer. I'm fucking tired of it. It kills my energy every time. It keeps feeling like any given segment, it would work. Like, what was it? The first segment of chapter 2. We were all ecstatic. We're like, holy shit, we've turned the corner. It makes sense. It's good. And then the next week, we're like, shit.
There are flashes where this is showing a lot of potential. It's just...
and then it just kicks us in the nuts and runs away.
I want to follow the story. I don't want to read the story.
Yeah, it's weird. I feel like some people have to have noticed. At first, it was like every time there's a segment, I was reading it, I was writing about it. Now it's like I'm writing about it the night before or the night of the podcast. Just because, like, I can't get the energy to do it early because it feels like it's going to be disappointing every time. And that saddens me.
If I was to explain this to somebody, I could make it sound like it's the greatest thing ever.
To be fair, isn't that the whole shtick where I get the really excited voice and go with a lot of emphasis, and then you guys both go, you're making this sound way more excited than it really was, like when I did that with Ghost Game a few times?
I guess, but I mean I couldn't do that with Ghost Game. But not with the whole story out there. No, I couldn't do that with Ghost Game.
I think I could.
But with this, like I could just have a very neutral description of it, and it would still like be really interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting. I just wish it was put together better. And you're not disagreeing with that, to be clear.
No, not at all. No. Let's just read a Wikipedia summary of this and you'd have a great time.
And then we have a batch of official fan art on the site, and then I need to scroll down to check something that did not pop up last night. As I went, we may be reaching the end of them promoting this. You know how I know? As I scroll through to double check, they did not put it up while I wasn't paying attention. They did not put up the tweet going, hey, there's a new batch of fan art.
Last couple, they didn't actually have any.
No, I know, but I'm saying it's such a lazy, easy bit of promotion that if they're not even like putting up the generic tweets about it, it's kind of like, I guess we are dangerously close to the end of a year.
I thought it started. Well, it started.
It was
April,
like April, yeah. So 5 months.
Also, I don't know if they've been getting a whole lot more fan art.
I have to imagine there's been enough. Like, I'm seeing that little. I've been seeing that little fucking dog be posted with the hashtags. I'm definitely seeing it. Not a lot. I mean, but
I'm just saying that this is fine. Lugumon is still 7th. Is still on the 2nd row of the fan art. So. Yeah, I mentioned that I mentioned that at least a month ago. So I'm just.
Well, maybe they should have something in the story worth drawing for.
The problem is the only stuff worth drawing at this point they would not be posting.
I mean, if you're going off of the fan art, the only thing worth drawing is Lugumon. Also, he hasn't been around lately.
Also, we discussed it last time. Just to point out, they're definitely not married, right? Like they're still talking about fiancés after she's quote unquote dead.
I stopped thinking about this 2 weeks ago.
I thought they were married in one of the flashbacks. Now we're specifically told he's her fiance, and she vanished, and they're fiancés.
I don't care enough about Seekers to argue the lore.
I care enough to try, but let's move on to something more interesting. Dreamers. So first up, Devimon gave himself a hand. We get to see drama.
That was a Game of Thrones level death, I gotta say.
That was great. He makes him crush his own head. So then we finish off the stuff from last chapter. We get some drama, Wizardmon fighting. We're getting more focused on plot and fighting, which is interesting because that is not Yabuno's like signature thing, but he does it really well.
Yeah, it was like this is
he likes doing visual gags more.
Yeah, these couple chapters, like okay, it's fine. It's moving the action along.
Then we get nice armor upgrade for the villain. as you do. He takes control of Wizardmon. Then we get Pulsemon powering up at the end. I love that we get the power up without the evolution. Because here's the thing. Regardless of what happens, the cliffhanger here is not evolution. Even if it's evolution. It's just, holy shit, look at fucking Pulsemon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I believe there's only one chapter left that was published in Psycho Jump. So we could have very different Dreamers publishing shortly. Because are they going to keep it weekly when they're doing this stuff, or does it go monthly? Has he actually finished drawing it, and it's just going to be like weekly for a month or two, and that's it? We don't know what...
Yeah. Also, I assume 21 ended on some sort of a note. I didn't get far enough to
we'll see.
Know that.
I forget.
Yeah, we'll see, but we'll know by the next... Actually, we'll know before we record for the next normal show, because the movie special's next week.
Yeah.
And then movie stuff. Now, I should point out, we did the show last week, and we all were like, okay, we have the episode in 2 weeks to do the movie stuff, and I woke up, and it was a very different day on Tuesday. Very different. Woke up and I'm like, because here's the thing. I think AR and Dev both know me enough to know I will track down anything. I was never going to do something like, so can you guys send me a screener? You know, I produced Digimon. That was never going to be something I did.
Yeah.
I used to run a review site and the email's still active. And I still get PR messages there. And one of the PR messages was generic, Digimon Adventure 0 to the Beginning, the sequel to Kisuna and blah, blah, blah. And screeners are now available. And I'm like, okay, time to get out of bed. I need to read this because, sometimes there's policies, blah, 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 blah. So I read it. I'm like, okay, I will send a message. If it's a no, it's a no. I'm not going to whatever.
Yeah.
So I do it. I go. I take a shower. I clean up. I come back out. Oh, there's a response. I have a screener. Okay. So I'm like, I have work I need to finish. I'm realistically not going to get to this for a few days. I will just keep quiet. I'm not going to say anything, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm doing stuff, and I get a break for a few minutes, and I'm like, I can't do anything for Dev because she doesn't really have forward-facing stuff. But
exactly, I'm a recluse. I wouldn't be left the fuck alone.
But I bet I could probably swing one. I could make contact for one person. I'm like, so AR, I need to ask you a few questions, and I'm sending him weird questions going, I'm seeing if I can get you a screener for the movie because I know it will make it a bit easier for you. I get
yes, absolutely.
I get the information for him, and some of the things you're asking me, I'm not sure this is relevant. I'm like, I don't care if it's relevant or not. I just need to show him you do stuff. That you're not
I still have an actual website with all of a whole bunch of 8 seasons of Digimon reviews.
So I link that stuff. I send it to the PR person. My co-host from the podcast has his own stuff. Blah 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 blah. And I tell AR it's sent. I go, I may never get an actual response. You may just get a response tomorrow, a week from now, 5 minutes from now. I go off and do something, and 20, 30 minutes later, you have a response.
I got it instantly too.
Yeah. Well, because I believe I even said it appears he's not busy yet, so I'm trying to do this quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then some work got delayed, and it's like, shit! It's 7 or 8 p.m. I have nothing to do. I will go ahead and watch the movie. And it's like, will there ever be a chance in my life to watch a Digimon dub before it's in theaters in Japan? I'm watching the dub first because when is that going to happen? So the movie's out in Japan. We're not talking about spoilers here. We have our episode next Monday with all three of us. Onke, Jeff from Podigus. A few days later, Jeff asked something, and I was able to get a screener for him so he could try to
Oh, good. He asked me how I got mine, and I told him to talk to you.
Yeah, I believe I believe I had messaged him about something separate, and then he brought it up. So he didn't just like poke me and go, "Hey, screener." No, he
poked me first.
Yeah. But yeah, so I got him it because I think he does the same thing you do, where he will try to bring in a notepad.
Oh yeah.
And
it's not. It sucks to try to do that. Yeah.
And like, here's the thing: you have a kid, you're gonna go there with a notepad. It's like, if I can make it slightly easier for you,
I'm not taking my kid to that.
No, I mean in the sense of you still have to do stuff. Yeah, and then you're going to go to a movie, and instead of relaxing and enjoying it, you're going to be sitting there with the fucking notepad the whole time.
It's going to be weird because I'm going to have nothing. It's going to be weird having nothing to do because I watched the dub as well. I've watched it sub and dub now, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to see this again. I just have to sit back and admire it.
Yeah,
the hell?
So, movies out in Japan. Let's go through this various junk first, because God, they went nuts. First up, I think me and A, we're not going to spoil anything. We're not going to comment on the movie itself generically. I really enjoyed it. A lot of flaws and a lot of strange choices. I still think it was a great movie.
I'm just gonna link the my review in the chat.
I'm pretty sure you gave it an A.
I did give it an A. It's an A. I mean, I remember that I try to keep the same scale of all Digimon.
No, I know.
So, but like, any A's are. It's pretty easy to get an A with a budget like that.
Yeah.
Watching it again.
So I will say this, without still no spoilers, everything. The dub felt much more solid than Kizuna to me. There's one or two things where the writing goes, this is a weird choice.
Yeah, watching it again dubbed, I found a lot more issues.
There is. The dub itself felt much more solid than Kizuna, though. The actual quality of acting. Although, weirdly, Yoli sounded really weird to me in this one.
Oh, that's interesting. I really liked Yoli in this. It seemed very like a natural sound to me.
That's where the issue for me is, if we jumped wherever I put that tab, if we jump to the English cast and crew, it's Terada who was Yoli in Kizuna, where she sounded like she was doing a Yoli voice in that one, but she's kind of not in this one.
Yeah, I think that's what threw me off. She didn't try to be Tiffany Kristen, but she sounded really good.
No, she does, but that's what threw me off, because I can hear the voice and go, that's Jeannie Tirado, who plays Yoli in the last movie, doing an entirely different voice. It's sort of like Tara-san's Kari is a bit aged up here compared to what we've seen in other ones. So that one throws me off.
Kari sounded a little weird in this one, which is strange because it is the same one from Triumph Kizuna.
Brian Donovan aged up his Davis, and it sounded great.
He did. Yeah, he sounded fine.
Ken and Vemon were exactly Ken and Vemon.
Yep.
TK's Johnny Young Bosch doing his slightly dispirited sort of voice, where there's slightly less energy, which I think works for TK, but every time I hear it, it's odd.
It really works for TK in this movie, though, because TK has a bit more of a subdued role.
And this is where people go, oh, you don't have to watch it. You don't. But if you watch TK connects with Tri a lot in this one.
Yes.
Bryce Papenbook is great as Cody. It's just strange because he's not Cody. You expect to still hear Felice Sampler's scratchy.
I mean, yeah, it's like that's 9-year-old Cody, though.
No, absolutely.
This is however old he is. So it's like, yeah, go ahead, throw Cat Noir at him. It's fine.
Kate Higgins as Gatomon was weird to me. Did she sound entirely different than every other time she's played Gatomon?
She sounded very different too.
Okay, I thought I was.
Kari and Gatomon sounded like completely different actresses, and I'm like, it's the same people. Yes. I don't understand what's happening here.
Then can we all appreciate that Neil Kaplan as Hawkmon is Neil Kaplan as Hawkmon in every way?
Oh my God, yes. Although I I feel like I have to go back and watch Fusion now because Aquilamon sounds exactly like Bagramon, and it threw me off. Like, is that the same voice he was always using in Zero Two?
This one's a cheat because I went into it expecting he could still do that voice because I was there for the redub. Yeah. So this is one where it's like, now the weird one to me, am I wrong, or was Laura Summer's Patamon slightly different, more like higher pitched?
It sounded like Patamon to me.
And then I feel bad for poor Chris Swindle as Wormmon.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but that's a tough one to try to imitate.
So Paul St. Peter is a very gracious person, and he gave a very good message about how, he tried out, he was offered it, he's like, no, Digimon's union, it has to be union. He gave a very nice speech, and that's all I'm saying about it.
Okay.
I feel bad for Chris Swindle because this is not the first time in one of these movies he's replaced a well-loved actor with a distinct voice.
Yeah, and that's a tough one because in
Kizuna he was Hawkmon. And then
that's a tough one because you have to do that. And then you have to try to be.
Here's the voice that upset me the most: Robbie Daymond as Armadillomon.
Oh my god!
So that voice was terrible, and here's why it upsets me. It's not wildly different than what he did in Kizuna, except there's one or two lines in Kizuna where I swear they didn't tell him to change the voice, and he sounds like he's doing a Texas drawl, and I love those two lines.
I barely remember Armadillomon's voice in Kizuna. I remember him doing. I remember him being in. I remember him doing the swipe card trick. But I like here is just Armadillomon.
Oh, it's grating.
It's really awful.
Yes. Then the new characters. Let's go over them quickly. AJ Beckles as Louis. What's funny is the very first line he spoke. I said, "I think that's AJ Beckles," because it sounds like. Anytime I hear AJ Beckles, and this happens for a lot of people, it pricks the same part of your brain that you hear Johnny Young Bosch.
Mm-hmm.
The only issue is I don't know if this was a choice by him or by the director. For a good chunk of the movie, is he like trying to do like a Christian Bale Batman thing?
I don't know, but I liked it. I really liked it.
I liked it as it's smoothed out. Early in the film, it's a bit too much. I'm Batman. I'm the first Digi-destined.
It worked for me. It's very different than it's very different than Megumi Ogata, but it still worked for me. Yeah. Like it's sort of like the original dub of Evangelion. Spike Spencer just sounds completely different to Shinji.
And then for Ukomon,
but it still works.
Giselle Fernandez as Ukomon was basically perfect.
Ukomon was freaky in the dub. I loved
that was perfect. Like, perfect. And then just to go over quick, Young Louis and Angelomon's Aaron Yvette. This one's weird because without commenting on Young Louis too much, and I don't consider that a spoiler because he's on the first poster. Yeah. Her voice there is great. I don't understand why she's Angelamon. She's Angelamon in the reboot, but she wasn't in Kizuna. It's like she was there and they had her play Angelamon, but wasn't Higgins Angelamon in all the prior stuff she was in?
I wonder if that's one where they just kind of forgot to record Angelamon when Higgins was in the studio.
And then I should point out, do you know how hard it was for me to get a fucking correct crew list? Did you see me on Twitter?
Yes.
So at first the director is listed as Jamie Simone, and I'm like, that's not right. I'm like, I don't know why Ryan Johnston would take credit for something he didn't do, and also say he co-directed with someone if they didn't direct. So later I was able to get confirmation. Great, I rewrote that. And then Jeff Nimoy was like, yeah, I didn't write anything, Digimon. Maybe they gave me credit because they used my script. And I have to stop myself and go, Jeff, I know that one intimately. That's not what I'm talking about. Finally, we're able to figure out the confusion with Nimoy, me and other people. Nimoy has no awareness there's a new movie. No one has told him. So he thinks we're talking about the redub. So I get in touch with PR person again, and the response I get back is, I'm sending a message, let me find out. The response I get back is, who the writer is, it's Seth Walter. which he wrote various episodes of the old dub, including a number of the O2 episodes after Nimoy left that had strange dub errors because Nimoy was the person who knew that stuff. Which
explains a few things.
Yes. Yeah, because at first I was like, did they rewrite Nimoy's dub? He's not going to make this mistake.
Yeah.
So yeah, dub's very good. Go to the screening, you will enjoy. They're both enjoyable.
Yeah.
And then for movie stuff, discussion threads open on the site. We got to see the full opening. I like that they uploaded that early as marketing because, man, that is such a 0-2 opening.
It really is. Yeah.
The song, the characters running around, it worked really well.
It's such a 0. The characters running around doing nonsense is just such a 0-2 thing. Like, it just feels appropriate.
Yes. The Diginavi happened. This is
also,
where
we got to see Mina again.
Yeah, it was very amusing for her. She has not been around for a while. Machizawa, who hosted it. There was a period where we were seeing her every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, brought her back from the Tri Days.
And Kizuna, and in fact, I think she hosted the last Diginavi, which was the Ghost Game one, when they started it.
Oh, okay.
I am face blind as shit, so I would not know.
Yeah. So they had the nice English version of the stream, which makes it much easier to deal with.
Good. That was a nice presentation of them.
Very nice presentation in general.
Very accessible, yeah.
There is the occasional issue where they will let people talk and they just won't sub them. Not too much, it does happen. The titling was all very nice. Some people were really fucking stupid with that timeline and ignoring the screen right before it. But that's pretty standard.
I mean, tri-haters are going to be tri-haters.
No, not just tri-haters. People talking about, they're going to retcon the epilogue. They spent like 30 fucking minutes talking about the epilogue in this thing. They're not retconning shit. They're talking about their characters in
I'm trying to think if Digimon has ever retconned anything.
No, Digimon does. Once it is on the screen, you can argue about if it counts. And when we say if it counts, what we mean is, does it make sense to happen? If it happens, it happens. They've made that very clear. They don't give a shit what we're arguing about. And that includes anything me or AR argue about. If it happened in the anime, it happened no matter how much it may or may not make sense.
Everything we've seen in the Adventureverse, barring maybe the audio dramas, I suppose, is in continuity.
Yes, if it's in the anime, it happens. And the movie is very clear about this shit. Even the stuff I don't like, it's there. It does not matter what I think about it.
Yeah, I mean, the season 1 audio dramas I'm not so sure about, but everything else, yeah.
Yes. The presentation for the Diginavi was very good. I would love to see them keep up this level of presentation if they do Digimon Con again. Because the last one, do you remember when they did the Vital Bracelet part and they just stopped subtitling it and we all kind of sat?
Yes.
I remember like a 15-minute segment where I just kind of sat there going, they're not saying anything, they're not saying anything, they're not subtitling anything.
And I need to get caught up on Vital Bracelet stuff because my kid wants a Vital Hero now.
So Diginavi, they showed the first 4 minutes of the movie. They put up an archive after a day or two. I love that the advertising for the audio dramas are basically, hey, Hiroki Harada's narrating them. I fucking love that.
They know the audience.
No, they really do. So here's the first real marketing mistake they made for this movie towards the end. Do you remember they've done the storyboard thing every month with each character?
Yes.
So they released the opening, and the opening reveals that all that stuff was actually from the opening. It's all from that 1.5-minute opening. This has all been a teaser for that. And then the last one on the day the movie's out is Daisuke, and instead of putting up a storyboard, they put up the opening. But it's even the same YouTube link they gave us a week before. They should have put this up early and revealed it the whole time. They've been showing us the opening. because they put this up a week after it was irrelevant. And then they did the Twitter Spaces talk. We'll talk more about that in a minute because that stuff happened there. It was basically a very casual conversation between Hiromi Seki and Kenji Watanabe. We'll get to that in a minute. I know everyone wants to talk about that.
It prompted a rebuttal.
Box office numbers. Less than Kizuna, not bad. It's a good start. We'll see where it goes. Week 2 is roughly the exact trajectory of Kizuna, just starts lower. I don't think anyone's shocked that an O2 movie's done less than an adventure movie.
Yeah.
Especially since they really did advertise this as O2. You're not necessarily going to get Kizuna stuff. It's O2, it's O2, it's O2.
Yeah, this is... I mean, it's like even just the title of the movie, even if it really functionally isn't, it just feels like it's being advertised as a sequel.
Yeah. The numbers, it's roughly 60% of Kizuna. In fact, that's better than O2. That's better than O2 normally. Like, I checked the Blu-ray box numbers. It was like 20 or 25% of Adventure.
Wow.
So if it's doing double that, that's solid. Tomohisa Taguchi talks about the movie. A lot of this we can't go over because spoiler. Some of this we'll go over next week. It's very interesting. There's very little we can talk about here because it is literally him talking about key elements of the movie, his thoughts, what certain things, to the point that even I had to go, oh, this thing I wrote in my spoilery review. I came to the conclusion that what the movie was saying was A or B, pick your choice, when it's really B or C. The thing that I thought and I didn't even agree with A in the first place. I just went, this is the choice. That was never the choice. It's just what it looked like. We'll definitely go over this. We can't almost say anything. The only thing he basically does say here is if you see it in the anime, it matters to the movie. Is functionally.
Yeah, it's again goes into that they're not retconning anything.
Yeah. They're not interested in that. He's not interested in it. If it doesn't seem to fit, there's some way to make it fit, basically.
Yeah.
Then we have
ram it all in there,
which is really amazing given what is told in the movie. But
yeah, I will say the one thing I will say, since he brings it up and it's not a spoiler to the movie, was originally it was going to be a Back to the Future-esque, just jumping through time, and he eventually just called up the higher-ups of Toei going, this doesn't make any fucking sense. There keeps end up being inconsistencies because of it. We have to start over the story. So basically doing the same story without jumping through back and forth through timing. Because what it was happening was, he was basically going, okay, if this changes, then we have to explain this. And then we have to explain this. And we have to explain this. And then he just went, shit, I'm not dealing with time paradox. Basically, this is bullshit. I'm not dealing with it.
Yeah.
But I would have loved to see a DeLorean.
Oh, yes. I would still like to see some sort of time travel element in Digimon. I think you can mess a whole bunch of stuff up with that, but I'm okay that they didn't do it in this movie. Yeah, this isn't the movie to do that with.
So it is Monday night. The dub is in theaters Wednesday. The sub is in theaters Thursday for those in the U.S. If you're not in the U.S., check your local stuff. It is just not possible for us to keep track of it all. It is playing many places. The one that I do remember was Germany had sub screenings the first day. My understanding is
yes.
The DigiNavi, I think, said there would be more sometime in late November, I think. So if you're in Germany, pay attention. We're getting more news on country today. I think someone in the Discord said they announced Portugal and Indonesia just a couple days ago, I think. There's been so many updates, I've gotten a bit lost on them, which is why we generally...
the end of the DigiNavi thing had a whole bunch of
Yes, but I believe we've gotten updates since then from people. Like, people go, I didn't expect to get it in my... The problem is there's been so many, it's just not trackable, so...
Anyway, check your local listings.
Yes, exactly. We got teaser for the second audio drama, which is, again, them going, hey, Hiroki Harada narrates it. Then we get to see.
I hope we get good summaries of these.
And then this is where like I have to use the spoiler tag on the forum just so people don't see it if they don't want to. The Louis and Ukumon stuff from the poster, they put up the full scene of to. If you want to see that, they put up a promo poster with very spoilery stuff in it that I want to talk about, but I will not. There's some stuff in there that me and AR talked about predating Dev being on the podcast about our thoughts on how it clicks in or not. And the movie makes that very solid. And then so
I'm not sure which thing are you poster you talking about, or
they did they put up a trailer with stuff from throughout the movie, including Louis seeing stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. So movie theaters this Wednesday. On next Monday, we'll do our special where we are just going to talk about the movie. No news unless there's relevant movie news. It'll be the three of us. Jeff from Podigus. Onke-kun will be here.
Are we going to talk about the director interview with that one, or are we going to save that for...
We will see if Jeff...
See what we have time for?
Yeah, because here's the thing. It's 7 for me. It's later for other people. It's not going to be us It's not going to be us going until it's 1 a.m. for some of you guys.
Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah,
so we will see.
Devin. Okay, so
we will see what comes up. So moving on from the movie to more movie stuff. Music singles are out digitally. CDs are in December and up for pre-order. I bought the digital copies from Japan. I'm very weirded out by some of the music, to be honest. Various Colors is beautiful. It's beautiful, and weirdly, it feels like AIM has more energy than she's had on some songs.
Yeah, that's one of the better AIM songs we've gotten in a while.
Beat Hit, I like. It doesn't quite fit the vibe. Beat Hit feels like it should be kind of like clean and crisp, and this one's a bit more arranged. Target creeps the fuck out of me. Because, so here's the thing. The song has been completely rearranged, which makes sense, and it uses the original lyrics, not any of the later re-recordings Watakoji did. So it's very clearly 2000 Watakoji with entirely new arrangements from a movie where earlier in the movie they play the original version. So in my ear, I can hear that he is exactly the same. And the music
is... I'm listen to that one.
Braveheart, I like. It's a bit scratchy for my taste, this version. Is the way I'd put it. I don't quite know how to put it, just slightly off. So CDs are up. DigiGift, we get wallpaper with Louis and Ukumon. I like the little leaf Ukumon. And we need more of these weird sketches from Tomohisa Taguchi. I love when he does these. Where at the bottom left, it's just that little frog thing. And it literally it literally just says "see the beginning." And at first I thought it was like a dog on a leash. That's his signature.
You know, I didn't even notice that, and I
thought it was like a branch with like acorns or something on it.
And I'm actually using this as my wallpaper now.
Yeah. Oh, it's a great image, and I love that they're not putting them up in shit quality anymore. I was very tired of trying to denoise and clean them up so people could use them and not have them look terrible. And then, God bless, we get to mention the UK. We knew they were getting collector's edition, and they're getting normal DVDs and Blu-rays also. I will say this looks much better than our cover using the same art. Because on ours, they wanted to back the whole thing in the blue, and it did that stupid fucking triangle thing. Here, there's like, let's just do a slight outline. This is a much nicer version of our cover. I assume these are going to be...
That explains why they spent 3 years working on it.
To be fair, all the anime announced they were doing 4K discs of Nadia like a year and a half ago. And they've just kept kicking them back, and I think they finally came out today. And I should probably mention, I've done discs for them before, so it's not like I'm sprucing it up. I assume these are going to be rebadges of the Shout discs. I'd be shocked if they aren't, but we will see. So UK people, hey, you get a movie, not the movie you were hoping for, but a. And then, okay,
Well, now they can see the first one before they see the beginning in 3 years.
Yeah. In the year 2026, Vandy gets to do a one-off screening of the beginning.
Just in time for whatever comes next.
And then, okay, so I was not familiar with this theater in Japan. I believe it's the same theater we talked about earlier in the year that was showing our war game, but this is cool. And so they have 35mm prints of Hurricane Touchdown and Diablo Strikes Back, and they're showing them.
Somebody wanted to show movie 3.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Movie 3's only being shown for 5 days. They're giving 7 for Diablo Strikes Back, which it sounds like I'm making a joke, but I'm not.
It is better, so.
Yeah, so I should
point. We know where their priorities are.
So here's what's interesting.
It's also shorter.
This is so much of a like.
It's also weirdly more relevant to the beginning.
So the other interesting thing is this is like a movie watcher cinema. Like they list the technology in each of their rooms and stuff. So like this is the projector they have. This is the speakers. It's in because it's a multi-building theater. This is in this building. Here's how many seats the room has. They note that while it's 35mm, they're both in poor condition with scratches and other issues. I assume these are actually prints from when they did the Toei Anime Fair in 2000 and 2001.
That's wild.
I assume these are actual 35mm prints from when they originally were in theaters, being shown to kids. So problems or not, if you're going to be there, great screenings. And they also note there are no trailers being added to these. The time given is the time the movie will start. There is no, it's going to take 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. If you are not there,
there is no Angela Anaconda short before these.
No. So if you are going to be in Japan and in that area, I highly recommend you go. This is the type of weird thing. You may never see these two movies like this ever again.
I legitimately, like, even though Hurricane Touchdown is awful, I would still probably watch it in a theater if it was 35mm. Like, that seems like a pretty cool experience.
It's a cool experience. I should point out these were both animated digitally, and the 35mm may not have been great even when it was new, but I would still fucking jump.
Like, yes. That's probably a more interesting experience than watching it on a laptop.
Absolutely. If you're going to be in Japan November 17th through the 30th and you're anywhere near this theater, fucking get there. It really...
It's much in the same way that I'm still looking forward to seeing certain parts of the beginning in a theater again, even though I've already seen it twice.
I'm sitting here because I was bringing different people to each screening, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go to both at this point.
I'm glad I only bought tickets for one at this point. I wouldn't want to see it twice.
Well, luckily I bought.
I'm working one of the days.
I bought from a ticket company that has easy refunds as long as you do it more than an hour before the screening. So I have that option.
I mean, if they were nice enough to give me a screener, I'm not gonna say give me my money back.
No, yeah, fair enough. And then moving on from the movie. Episode 39 through 42 of the season 2 dub were put up to promote the movie. I fucking lost it at seeing some of these descriptions.
Yeah.
These are getting like here's the thing. I don't care that they're not dub terms. Here's the thing. If they were paying attention, they'd be dub terms. If they were paying attention, the text would make sense in the translation.
So,
then the last...
I'm gonna start calling the World Tour episode of Worldwide now.
Yeah, that's the one. I don't remember if I tweeted it or wrote it on the site. Like, man, it's too bad this story arc doesn't have a well-known name that they could have used. And then the last one we get...
Literally the dub episode title.
Do you want to know the best part? If you look at the last one, the batch for 48 through 50, I'm pretty sure they copy-pasted Belial Vamdemon in the description because there's an extra space.
Yes.
And I know this because I noticed that like crazy on stuff because I look for that at my job. I can't. I look at that and I just go, someone copy pasted the spelling because the translator did it wrong, and they did not notice that.
When I posted my review on Twitter, it somehow added an extra space to the summary and like really annoyed me.
Yeah, and my favorite sentence from this batch. What was waiting for them was Belial Vamdemon, the last enemy who was also using Oikawa.
Spoilers.
That's not even a good sentence. Jesus Christ.
Everybody's using Oikawa.
Yeah. And then
that's pretty much the summary of 02, honestly.
And then back to that Twitter Spaces thing. Director Kakudo tuned in. And it should be noted, despite what like weird, crazy people say, does not give his opinion on things he doesn't work on. Like, he's told us his thoughts on like how our war game fits on blah 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 blah, but he does not actually tell us what he thinks of them as movies. So like, we don't know what he thinks of our war game, the original movie, Hurricane Touchdown, Diablo-Mon Strikes Back, Try, Kizuna, or The Beginning. He actually goes out of his way to point out this isn't about the movie. He very clearly is aware people are going to take it as such. It's not. It's that something was said that rubbed him the wrong way, and he feels he has to comment on it.
It is hilarious though that the Twitter Spaces thing, they said something in the Twitter Spaces thing, and Kakudo comes up with this really long, well, actually.
No, so and here's the thing: we don't know the context of what she's saying. May just be like based on fans. They don't understand it because blah blah blah. They may not be saying it wasn't thought out. He's just like, okay, it appears they've forgotten. I'm going to go over this. And they were in the room for some of this stuff. So he goes over indeed. And weirdly, I started getting messages from people going, well, this isn't really in detail. I don't know why you said that. Yes, it is, considering what we have about the epilogue.
This was a lore dump.
Yes, this is like one of the best fucking lore dumps we've ever gotten from Kakudo.
Yeah, it's like, as much as I make fun of it, like, this is actually a lot of good information.
No, and that's exactly it. It is big information. So
how official of it is very
and that's the other thing. Here's the other thing. A lot of people ignore shit he said in this, like, oh, they're destroying his vision. He's the first person to say in this shit. This stuff was not on screen. A lot of it was never even written down.
Yeah.
This is the background. Him and writers came up with 4 choices they were making. In the comments, he literally says, this was stuff that was never going to be on TV. Some of it would not have been appropriate. Some of it would make no sense. This was background in their heads as to what they were doing to skip 25 years, because they weren't just skipping 25 years ago. Here's Taichi with the same haircut. He's still playing soccer, and there's Agumon. They were thinking in their heads about what to do. Now, here's where it's relevant. None of this means shit to us 25 years ago, because that's not information we have access to. So if you didn't like it 25 years ago and you don't like it now, that's fine. It's purely, this is what they were thinking of.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the context behind
it. And I should point out, so many people got confused by the chosen child math. He put up a fucking chart as an update. Like, he basically said something to the effect of, my manner of speaking was confusing to people. I wanted to clarify, because a lot of people thought that he was off by a year. He wasn't. He was explaining that year, not the total.
Like, right before this, somebody posted something on Tumblr where all the numbers to try to replicate these numbers, and they were off by a year.
Yes. But yeah, and the weird thing is if you go into the numbers given offhand in Try, in Kizuna, in the beginning, they all actually line up perfectly.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, is that as unofficial as these numbers are, everything post-02 has been really consistent with them.
And very clearly have referenced his novels, even with stuff that doesn't count. So I should mention, because Matthias brings this up in the chat, he does not appear to be being passive-aggressive. he's not talking about the director. He's talking about Seki Hiromi, who's the producer of the new movie, and back then. He appears to not be being passive-aggressive. He's really saying, I think they've forgotten. He's not doing the passive-aggressive of, well, I guess they don't remember, so I have to do this. He legitimately appears to be saying, I think they forgot. Because you have to remember, at this time, she was also working on Tamers. So at this point,
and also, again, this is not official.
No, and he even
this was like 25 years ago.
Yeah, that's the other thing. We're getting his perspective. She may be saying it doesn't count. So as far as she's concerned, it's not thought out because it's not in the show. But as far as I can tell from the text, I believe he's being honest, where he thinks she's forgotten, or he's being very mechanical in how he talks about this, because he does not want to be taken as I'm attacking. He's basically going, I'm giving information I haven't given before because because clearly he's heard this for 25 years from fans, especially on social media, that they didn't think about it, blah, blah. No, they thought about it. It's just not.
It's not 100%.
Yes. And he even says, he even clarifies many times, a lot of this was never written down. It is stuff in his head. And even now, he's remembering some of it, which means it may not even be accurate.
Also, there's a certain subtext within some of the stuff that the producers and directors and Hiromi Seki have said that kind of intimate that they don't want to be beholden to all of this adventure lore. Like the stuff that we've actually seen in the anime, they try to be consistent with. Like Try and Kazuna at the beginning, they try very hard to not mess with too much.
Yes,
but with everything else, all of the background stuff,
it doesn't exist.
They don't care that much.
No, and here's where that argument comes into play a lot. Is a lot of Try Kazuna in the beginning goes to his novels, not the anime.
Yes,
but
Try is really big with the novels.
But there's stuff in the novels that cannot fit with the anime, and they are not doing that. Like, for example, TK never gets a crest in the novels.
Oh, that's right.
That's how they realize they don't need the physical crest, because he never got his.
Yeah.
They reference the crest being destroyed somewhere in Try, I believe. But basically, anime, and they're using as much flavor as they can. But also, if it's not on the screen, they will throw it out in an instant if they can come up with something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we can't go over all this. This is stuff you guys have to read because it's a lot. But like him, although I will say, like, he details the Tai stuff. He goes over some Koshiro stuff. And I even he's like, of course Koshiro's one of them, connecting it to the Dark Masters. The alien thing he's clarified a few times. He doesn't mean aliens in the way everyone takes it, which is little green men. He basically means like extra dimensional things, which we actually see in O2 a few times.
Virus Luffy, kind of.
He's more talking like in O2. There's a portion where they actually say, the Dark Ocean is not the digital world. It's another universe. That Wish universe is another one. There's a part in O2 where they say the universe is bending from the towers, are bending dimensions they don't know about yet. He's talking about something happens in one of these. And that something is coming. When he says it's an extraterrestrial, he's talking about beings who aren't like, he doesn't mean from Mars. He means beings from another universe, basically like Dagomon, where Dagomon's a Digimon from another place. He's not from the digital world in O2. He's a different thing. I will say some of the logistical stuff's a bit too much. Joe provided logistical stuff. Sora made clothes for kids. Some of it's a little too on the nose for me.
Yeah, it's some of the epilogue stuff is a really interesting read to hear some of the justifications for that. It doesn't necessarily defend them particularly well.
And
it's still kind of like, if you're not into some of the ideas that were established in the epilogue, you're not going to fall in love with them because of this stuff.
It helps establish them better, except the two people most people want to hear about the establishing shit for we don't get. He teases them. Miyako and Takeru. Takeru is important because he's the person who tells the story of it all, theoretically.
Yeah, but that sort of makes its own sense.
I know.
Like, I don't think anyone really objects to Karu's.
No. But Miyako people want background for because it is...
Oh, everyone hates because Miyako's ending is awful.
It does not fit that character to just go, and now she's a housewife. Now, if she's a housewife and also a scientist, or she jumps to the digital world to do shit, then fine. That's great. But that's not what we get.
I've heard defenses for Miyako's, but it still gets to the it still doesn't attack the main point, which is Miyako's thing is she married Ken, and that's her only thing. That's crap.
No, absolutely. It's very easy to make a defense of that, but that doesn't fit the character as built.
Well, it's just that the girl marries the guy, and that's her only thing. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which girl we're talking. Like, they could have said that with Hikari, and it still would have been crap.
He showed off the picture from his fancy O2 box. For some reason, I weirdly love how few people I've seen actually put the adventure box in there as intended. Because he still has the spacer box there. And yeah, he hints he may comment more on this type of stuff in the future. Although I will say the weird thing about this is reading all this, it still makes me go, now I understand why he didn't want to be in Kizuna. Except it doesn't actually fit that cleanly. Minus we do get clarification exactly what they wanted him to do. They wanted him to effectively be the keeper of the lore. So I can understand why he decided to leave. This isn't information he gave us at the time. At the time, what he said was something roughly like, they had a story, I suggested a better story, and they said no, so I left. Now, the information we get is he was partially there to be the person to make sure stuff was kept straight. And he disagreed with whatever they were doing. Now, that doesn't mean they're wrong. It does give us some depth into his thought process at the time, which is much better than what we had before, which was, it felt like he was just upset they weren't using his story. This is very different.
Kind of.
I'm not sure I agree with it still. It's better.
I got the reasoning behind Kakuto leaving Kizuna made sense to me when I watched Kizuna.
Yes.
Like, that sort of answered everything for me. His disposition about it might be better framed here, but
it's definitely better framed.
Like, watch Kizuna and you get it.
Yes.
And that said, Kizuna's awesome, though, so...
Yeah. So then moving on from that, Pendulum stuff, we got to see the full lineup for the V2 and V3 Digimon colors. The lineups on these have been amazing, to be quite honest. They're really good. I really like some of the new color sprites. Have you seen the little Jellymon sprite?
Yes, it's adorable.
That fucking fantastic. And Cathilamon is an ugly little motherfucker.
That tracks.
Yeah.
He's just a little.
Marine Antimon was also kind of like an ugly.
No, I know, so. But now he's an ugly blue motherfucker.
He looks like a Castlevania villain.
Then the V.
And not even a Castlevania villain. He looks like a Castlevania enemy.
He looks like a Castlevania mook that you whack with the whip and it's gone in one hit.
Yeah, he looks like the guy who's just floating across the screen that you have to dodge or kill.
Now the V3 is where it gets interesting, to be honest. First, we get Mastamon, we get Volta-Boltamon, which I love that tiny little sprite. That's not new, I don't believe, but I still like it. Noble Pumpmon gets the best sprite. I love how the sprite has the cane. I fucking love that sprite. Then, the really cool one is Calismon. We have not seen this dude for 20 years. And I like how it's pointed out in the Mon memo. What makes it special is it's in one with Demon, who were in V-Tamer together. Then we get the Lugumon line. I'd say the best sprite here is, I think, Lugumon. The worst sprite here, I believe, is Lugermon. Luga is the best. Lugar is kind of like a weird, like, I need to see him attacking with like some fire spit. But yeah, so those were solid. Then Vital Bracelet previews, we got to see the D3 dim cards. They went over these. Not much to say about these because we got previews. We got to see a video preview of the Pulsemon one. They're still weirdly hiding the one, but they keep showing the silhouette in more and more detail, even though we know who it is. The packaging's nice. I don't know if I care about the packaging that much because I like toy packaging. It's weird when it's like an exclusive though. Because like, oh, you made nice packaging. It's not relevant to sell it. We're only seeing it as like a day before pre-orders open. But yeah, Chad is agreeing that Lugermon looks like trash. And then here is something special. So we talked about how last week Apocalypse was going to get a new actor because his prior one died 10 years ago. Director Kakudo is directing the game stuff. The new actor is Akio Otsuka, who's one of the biggest voice actors there is. And, you know, I haven't been able to do one of these since Ghost Game. Are you ready for a voice actor list? Are you ready?
As long as it comes with weird dub ones.
Yes, it is. Are you ready?
Okay.
First up, in Kingdom Hearts, he's Ansem in Xehanort. In Metal Gear,
that's too on the nose.
In Metal Gear, he's Solid Snake, Big Boss, and all the characters in that family line. In Onimusha, he's Oda Nobunaga. He's Seth in Street Fighter. He's Skull Knight in various versions of Berserk. He's Blackjack. He's Shinsei in Bleach. He's Kaladin in Full Metal Panic. He's Bateau in Ghost in the Shell. He's the current.
Oh, that's fun.
He's the current voice of Jigen in Lupin III. He's Windham in Rayearth. He's Ekubo in Mob Psycho 100. He's the narrator in Gundam Wing and Gundam The Origin. In My Hero Academia, he's All for One. He was Captain Nimoy in Nadia, Blackbeard in One Piece, Garuru in Sergeant Frog, which is one of those times when they cast the person to be on the nose and exact. In various Fist of the North Star stuff, he's Souther. And are you ready for dubbed over stuff?
Yes.
Okay, first.
It's exactly what I'm looking for.
In many films, he dubbed over Steven Seagal. There's more actors he did this for. Ready? Nicolas Cage. Denzel Washington.
Oh, wow.
Antonio Banderas. Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh my God.
Wait, we're not done. Are you ready? Dennis Quaid. Dolph Lundgren.
We're coming back.
Okay, are you ready? Are you ready for one of the best ones? Wesley Snipes.
You couldn't.
Wait, including in the Blade films, and he plays him in the Blade anime stuff also.
You should have stopped at Denzel.
We're not done.
Did they ever do a Japanese dub of To Wong Fu? Thanks for everything.
Just wait. Possibly, I did not check, but ready? Javier Bardem, Liam Neeson. He not in all of their movies, but are you ready for the best? Are you ready for what we get to some of the best ones I saved? Are you ready? In all Star Trek content, he's the Japanese voice of Riker. And I pulled up clips and I was like, this is fucking amazing. And then it gets better. Are you ready?
How?
Okay. I had to skip because his credits are like crazy. In the original version of DuckTales, he's Launchpad McQuack.
Okay, now you just topped Denzel right there.
Yeah. And in the modern Addams Family films, he's Lurch. And I literally had to go, this is like multiple paragraphs I have to just stop. But there's some other key things. One, in Digimon Survive, he's Paimon. He's also the Paimon line in New Century.
Bury the lead.
Oh, I bury the lead a lot. He's the Paimon line in New Century, and most importantly, the original voice of Paimon and Apocalypse was Chika Otsuka, his father.
Yes.
Which is what I guessed they were doing last week when Kakudo was teasing something special. I literally saw it. I went, I knew it was going to be this motherfucker. And yes, the people in chat saying he's overqualified. Yes, he is. And I should note, he does not try to imitate his father. He's just doing one of his voices. I
just really need him to do his Nicolas Cage voice and do the hot and cold running water
line. Here's the thing. I'm gonna check the actual list of Nicolas Cage movies he's in, because the exchange rate's really good. I may find one.
Does it matter? Like any Nicolas Cage movie, there's probably some good stuff.
There is, but it's like I don't want it to be The Wizard's Apprentice or whatever that one Disney film was called.
Your odds are good.
Probably. So then moving on, they started a new series of 15-second shorts to. It's weird. It's like really abridged profiles, and it looks like the O2 analyzer, and I love it, even though it's kind of stupid. So they do VMon, XVMon, and Ukomon. They show sprites, art. The narrator is trying to do a Hiroki Hirata impression. Like you could tell, like they're trying their best. You cannot do that. And then let us turbo through cards because holy shit, we have still too much. Trubamon Vice, Koki doing great on that one. Terriermon, Lopmon, Wallace.
Bunnies.
I should point out one of these went up like the day before, and I chose not to post it betting they were doing this, and it paid off.
Yeah.
I delayed posting one of these for like a day going, they're going to post these 3 in a row, I bet. I love how the Terriermon Lopmon card is the same scene from different perspectives.
Yep.
And Wallace is Wallace.
Wallace is Wallace. Well, he's not flirting with any girls, so not quite.
Well, to be fair, we don't see the other side of that art. Then we get another Terriermon card. We get great art of Rapidmon. I love Gold Rapidmon. I love how he looks here. They show off the playmat. They show off. They started doing this with the Beelzebumon one, where the one card in the set will sometimes be more rare. And this time it's that Rapidmon one. You can very rarely get an even more gold Rapid. They don't even give us a nice preview. It's the producer of the card game holding it up to the camera. Could they not have just done a render? Could they not? Then flipping through, Green Rapidmon. He actually looks really good on this, and I love when they make them not repaints of each other. Like you get more of the face of Green Rapidmon a lot of the time. I like when they do that. Galgomon is eating a burger and running off as you do. We get Gummymon waking up with Zerumon, and they very clearly have been reading comic books. And also they beat the shit out of a Clockmon clock. And Telamon is a reprint of an earlier card. Genria is a new card using art from his old card, but they changed the background a bit. He is looking at Wallace upset that he's hitting on girls. That's what that face says to me. Terriermon Joshua, I love this card, but it's a reprint. We don't need to say shit about it. Giant Missile is great because it is giant missiles. Although I will say this, I fucking look at Saint Galgomon's face in this image. I love it. Weirdly, like is not Saint Galgomon-ish.
Resting bitch face.
And then
so are the missiles.
And then here's where we start to get the cards that confuse people. Magnamon, who's black and blue in this deck. This is where sometimes the starter decks come with bonus cards that are meant like to use for other decks. This is one of those. Magnamon looks great. Gold Rapidmon, also those. There's so much good Rapidmon art in this set. We got more of it here than we do with anything.
Bunny overload set.
Extreme Light Shock has Kudamon fucking up Dark Tyrannomon. Chocomon is great cartoony art. I love in the reflection you can see Trubamon before he becomes evil and goes on a murder spree. Lopmon, I like the art. Lopmon looks kind of fucking weird in this one. I think it's the angle they're at, and also because Terriermon is like upside down, it kind of looks like Terriermon has a big head and a tiny body.
Yeah, it's very stylized. It's weird.
Guilmon gets his Fireball move as a card. Okay, here's the one that confused people. Okay, Magnamon X Gold Digizoid mode. This is the first time, A, that we've gotten a name for this motherfucker. B, that we've seen him. And C, it's also confirmed to not be a mode change, assuming the card game is playing by the same rules. In his profile, Magnamon X has always said that when he's like on his last legs, something can happen that makes him appear entirely gold. His defense becomes perfect. He becomes more amazing. We've never seen this before. It's been a profile thing that never mattered. And I love that the card matters. And weird, like, it doesn't have a mode name. It weirdly says you can evolve from Magnamon X in a weird way.
The three colors is throwing me off.
Yeah, that's the first time. That's the first time we've gotten a 3-color card.
Yeah.
It doesn't help that the way the frame works on this card, you can't see like the black a lot on the framing. He was designed by Asmaria, who designed Magnamon X in the first place. At the moment, no one, including Asmaria, is saying when this character was designed. We don't know if this is something they've had in their pocket for 10 years or if this was designed 2 months ago. I've also tried to tweet at Asmaria because I noticed something in the design I was curious about. It appears to be inspired by one of his favorite anime that he also has worked on side stuff for. And I was curious if that was on purpose or just how it looks, and I have not gotten a response yet. I don't expect one. I just went, I worked on that show too, and I'm pretty sure he's done something here, and I'm very curious about that. Then we got information on EX06. Demon Lords, Ogudamon, 3 Archangels get ace cards. Dominamon, Legend Arms cards appear. Mastamon gets an ace card. I'm looking forward to this one. This one looks better. This set
I want whatever Lilithmon card is in here.
This set looks nice. The beginning packs are still being given away. They show a Terriermon promo card for EX events. I like when Koki is slightly less puddingy and he gets very expressive. Like the Lotmon in this card is great.
He looks distressed.
He looks like and then shortly he'll be on a murder spree. Then the Ode to the Beginning set. We knew this was coming because it had been mentioned in a few places. You get a playmat with both, quote unquote, both Imperial Dramons. Playmats with Dragon and an egg card with that key art of Louis and Ukomon. Get a playmat with the Digimon. We get cards of the Digimon from the movie and new anime style art for the kids for Tamer cards.
Yes.
I should point out, this is some of the nicest art we've gotten of the kids.
It really is.
Like,
look at those babies.
They'd be fun as acrylic stands.
I think I'm 99% sure I've seen multiple mentions go by in the chat of how nice Miyako looks in this. I'm pretty sure they're referring to this card specifically. And yes, there's a bit of a different personality to it than we have seen in art of her, where it's kind of focused more on the clothes and stuff. Mm-hmm. And here there's a bit more personality. Armordamon's doing weird shit.
That look is consistent with her in the movie too. I love that.
Yeah. And Ken has on a basic ass sweater exactly like you'd expect Ken to have.
The grid is weird. I mean, it's an improvement from gray on gray, but
and then we have Card Game New Project 2024 where they're teasing. It feels like this is weird. Like, here's the thing: a lot of the terms here could be terms for like what they're doing, or it could be terms in whatever this is. Because here's the thing: it could be a game, it could be metaverse bullshit, it could be an anime, it's something to do with cards, is what we know. And the designs are really nice for the 2 new Digimon we see, who I will call that one and not Magnamon.
Personally, I was kind of hoping for a
also, can we
online simulator for the card game?
Can we appreciate that, like, we all know what the logo says, unless that logo's fake? Because the way they blurred it was not good, and if you look at it, it's just like almost everyone has gone. It probably says Digimon Liberator.
Digimon butts.
We will have a lot more to say about this. We will get more information in December. I'm in my heart of hearts, I don't think whatever it is will need us to go back to weekly shows, but we will see. I
want to play the card game online with my friends.
I don't have the time to do that, so I want it for everyone else. I don't have
the money to build a proper deck. I'm just scrambling whatever cards I have into a deck. I played it once at a convention and got whacked.
More card game stuff. They put up the archive video for when they announced that. If you want to see it, they formally announced the booster set EX06 theme with art that I think this was from. Do you remember a couple years ago? I don't know what they called them. The articles they did was Agumon Hikase going over shit.
Oh, Digimon Profile, I think?
Yeah, I think it was that. This is the art from that, and they made a little animation showing the Demon Lords and stuff. It's great. They show off the sleeves, which we knew about all four of these. It's the same art. They show off Beelzebubon stuff for the DC, what they're going to sell. They show off prize cards for the national finals in Japan and the World Championships. I love how they're getting around the language thing for the World Championships. It's all Digimoji on the prize cards instead of Japanese or English or anything else. That is a great cheat because you just give whoever wins them, no matter the language. Playmat.
I want those.
They showed off the Imperial Digimon Ghost Rare English version, which will be in Booster Set 14. We do not know the Japanese version of these yet. So the main point of this card's existence is rich assholes get it and then try to post on Twitter and social media as if we're supposed to care.
Yeah.
I should note, if you get one of these, 100% sell it. Find some rich asshole and get your nice payday if you get one of these. I don't know the odds. I think it was like 1,000 packs. One will have it, or something like that.
Telling me there's a chance.
Yes, there is. Then
it wouldn't be the first Imperial Digimon Secret Rare it pulled. So,
well, remember it says Secret Rare because the original card was Secret Rare. This has, I think, Secret Rares are supposed to get like 1 in every 5 or 6 packs.
Oh.
This is like 1 in every 1,000.
Okay.
This is literally like the day after they will be going for hundreds and hundreds and then thousands quickly.
This is double Secret Rare. Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly. At the World Tour event in LA, they will have the playmat and the sleeves. The way you order these is kind of stupid. You have to register for the tournament for the LA stop. Once you are registered, you will get an email with a private Premium Bandai USA product link. You order it, and then you have to pick it up at the venue. That feels like a lot of hoops to jump through for some sleeves. Card Battle finished off their team event. Then they had what is basically a bye week. Then we have shirts. We don't have much to say about these because by the time I figured out, here's the thing. They announced they would have these at New York Comic Con. They were like, okay, they'll sell them separately. They apparently put them up before Comic Con happened, and we just didn't notice. And like me and AR, we look for Digimon stuff. Did you notice these existed, AR?
No, and I frankly don't care about them.
No, I care about them for a key reason. First, the design and some of the art's new, which is interesting too. These are the back shirts are the ugliest motherfucking 90s clip art text bullshit I've ever seen.
Somebody knows. Somebody uses word art.
I wanted to make sure like that I wasn't just like a fucking idiot, so I sent them to someone who does graphic design that I know. Do you know what their response was?
Graphic design is my passion.
Almost word for word, it was, that has some big graphic design is my passion energy.
Thank you.
That was literally the response from someone who does like real graphic design shit.
The way this is printed, the way that text looks, it looks like Clippy had to help them with
No,
it.
that's fucking, it's fucking 90s clip art. It's like the clip art thing. It's like, okay, I did the text. Where's the metallic water filter? Oh, people are gonna fucking like this. And then, so here's the weird thing.
They're gonna put it on their Angel Fire website.
Okay, so here's the
from the top rope.
So here's the thing. If you get rid of that bullshit on the back's fine. The front, I don't mind anything except the position of their logo's fucking weird. It's too low. The sigil at the bottom's fine. The recolored tri-digivice is fine. The actual text looks fine. It's just in a weird fucking place. And anyone who wants these, they were all sold out when I looked, except the blue Metal Grumon one, which was $45. And remember, this was a threat. They were marked as drop number 1. And I should note, the way I figured out these existed was, I checked the promos at the end of the O2 dub episodes they're putting up because they're having products we haven't always seen. And I'm like, oh, someone made Digimon hoodies. So I look up the company. I go, okay, they did a bunch of Digimon products. I grab all the images. I put together the article. I'm like, wait. The promo images from the video are hoodies. There are no hoodies. Why are they putting up promos for stuff they aren't selling yet, or that? Fuck.
Because fuck you. That's why.
I mean, not fuck us. We're not getting them.
Okay, now we have to start turboing stuff just so it isn't too long. O2 Quest Shop is coming November 30th. I love it. They're all just like different eras of Japanese detectives.
I love it too, although the Daisuke one, the hat makes him look like Takuya.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
Wrong.
I had to literally cover my nose because I laughed so hard I almost sneezed. Oh, fuck. So that's
my only complaint with those.
Oh, that's November 30th, and this is co-branded between the movie and the show. Do you think they're hiding a Louis and Ukomon one?
Which detective is Louis Detective Conan?
Yeah, that was exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say none of these really look like Detective Conan, even though like at this point he's like the quintessential Japanese detective character.
Right.
I wonder if that's more they just legally want to stay away from Detective Conan.
I wasn't necessarily getting a Japanese vibe with all. I think these are just like a lot of various detectives.
Yes, but a lot of them are styled specifically after a few known old Japanese literary detectives. Now, some of them, like the Daisuke one, is very easily you could say that's Holmes.
Yeah, that's Holmes. Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of these have specific Japanese detective vibes. So that's the 30th. Then ice cream for the beginning. Yeah. So here's the thing. This is at a few different locations for the Roll Ice Cream Factory until November 16th. We have to go over these because these ones are actually not fucking terrible. We rant about the drinks and food every time. Okay.
Because they're fucking disgusting.
First, these are all 900 yen. I guess the tax is different if you do takeout or not. I'm not 100% sure about that. I haven't heard of that for Japan.
I'm not gonna sweat the sales tax on.
No, I'm not. It's just really fucking weird that they have posted prices that are different by 18 yen. So it was weird, and I felt like I had to comment on that. Okay, so
that's less than a quarter.
Yeah, that's why it's weird. So all items are 900 yen. First up, Iori and Arbidamon's Mango Chocolate Roll Ice Cream. Chocolate base, mango mixed in top of mango, a fan-shaped wafer top of whipped cream and mango sauce. I don't like mango, but this seems like a good.
If you're into mango, this is fine.
Okay, then
I fucking love mango, but not so much the chocolate.
Okay, Daisuke and Veemon's Mint Oreo Roll Ice Cream. Mint base, Oreos mixed in top with Oreo and blue glitter marshmallows, along with whipped cream and blue sprinkles.
That sounds pretty good.
I only have one issue with this. I want more chocolate with my mint ice cream. I need chocolate chips or a swirl, not just pure mint.
We got Oreo. That should be sufficient.
Maybe.
It depends on how much the marshmallow overwhelms it.
That's possible. Louis and Ukomon's berry roll ice cream, vanilla base, blueberries mixed in, top with blueberries and wafers, along with whipped cream and blueberry sauce.
Not my favorite, but I'd go for that one too. I'd eat that one too.
That doesn't sound bad. I'm not big. I like blueberries in like muffins or pancakes. I'm not big on just like blueberries.
I'm good with both. I will shove them into my face.
Okay, Miyako. So this one's interesting because it feels very Miyako. Miyako and Hakmon strawberry roll ice cream. Strawberry base. Oreos mixed in. Topped with chocolate Pocky and strawberries along with whipped cream and strawberry sauce. I'm not a big strawberry dessert person. This feels very Miyako to me and does not seem disgusting like some of the things we've seen before.
Yeah,
this is like a really common combination with crepes, actually, with like the chocolate and the strawberry.
I'm not as big as fan of strawberry chocolate combo.
Then we get Takaru and Patamon's pine soda.
Pine, okay.
Hikari and Tailmon's Kyoho and grape soda. Ken and Wormmon's melon soda. That's such a fucking Ken drink. It's just like the blandest normal junk. The sodas appear to be
ramen.
Yep. Your green ramen.
The sodas appear to be topped with whipped cream and colored sugar. They also have hot honey tea and hot milk tea for those who want a hot drink. Exclusive goods are acrylic stands, magnet stickers, clear files. They will give away postcards. And the weirdest fucking part about this is it is not ice cream season in Japan right now. I've checked with a few people, and Onke also confirmed, like, this is really not when they don't do the weird like thing that some of us in America do, where it's like, oh, it's 40 degrees. I'm gonna go get ice cream.
I mean, they're also using it's also Kazuna based artwork.
So like,
I'm not sure if they got their clock synced up here.
Yeah, so if you want like to get in, do the exclusive goods, get the postcard, whatever, you can ask for a voucher instead of the food item and come back for the food item later if it's not temperature appropriate. Yes, I had to ask Onke about that because I'd never heard of such a thing, and I'm like, is this say what I think it is, or have I just like fucked up 10 different times translating this? And she's like, no, that appears to be what it says. I've never heard of this either.
It's a Culver's thing. You can get a chip if you have a meal that comes with an ice cream. You can get a chip instead that you can redeem later.
Okay, and then Kittyland has announced Ochi being popular. Have we heard about Kittyland since Try?
Oh, I don't know.
So we're not going to go over all the products. There's too much. They have a bunch of good stuff. This is where we first heard that they were doing some Holy Ring products, which look quite nice, to be honest. It's not. I don't wear any jewelry or accessories in any form just because I don't like things touching me. But these look nice.
The hair tie looks pretty cool. Kind of want that one.
For every 2,200 you get mock film strip bookmarks, which is amazing because I doubt there's a single film print of the movie in existence. So that shop is at 4 locations for Kittyland. It runs through all of November. And then, can we talk about the weirdest fucking product? This was teased a bit before the movie came out. To the Beginning sake. It's
gotta say that's definitely turning some heads.
It's labeled as, yeah, I get the joke. I'm just moving on. It's labeled as sake of the chosen adults. I give this sake to all the adults who grew with Digimon.
It's like, and that's definitely getting some attention. Like, I've seen a few Facebook groups that have been like, so yeah, Digimon has official booze now.
So I should point this out. A few different people have actually used the information and messaged me that they've pre-ordered it and actually figured out how, if an intermediary would order alcohol for them, and they're getting it to try it.
Huh. So I bet it tastes like sake.
Yeah, it's weird because because here's the thing. I'm not lazy enough to do the articles the way I should, which is, hey, sake. Here's this, it has art, here's ordered, and then I go fuck off. Instead, I'm trying to look up the actual terms they use for sake that I don't understand to write it. And I guess this is sake that they brew sake, and then they brew it again as if they were brewing it from scratch, but using sake instead of water to make it like really sweet or something. And it comes with one of those square drinking glasses with the movie logo. Which I love.
That's what that is.
Yeah. With current exchange rates, it's like $50 before stuff. I'm not I don't know what it takes to deal with importing booze for an intermediary, but I don't drink, so I'm just not dealing with it. And then for the weird, and that's not the weirdest collaboration. Ode to the Beginnings collaborating with D-League. I had to look up what D-League was, and I went, man, there's times when I don't know what I'm doing with my life, and this is one of them. D-League is a professional dance league in Japan.
I think that's an Olympic sport at the next Olympics.
And then the director of the team, Dip Battles, who is also a player for the team, is a big Digimon fan, and he made a dance for Target. I'm like, oh, this will be interesting. And then I saw the dance, and I went, this is interesting, but not in the way I expected.
It's actually not that interesting if you watch it with the music, but if you mute it, it looks like they're going through a bunch of Super Sentai moves.
No, and that's what it was. Like, I watched and I went, I guess I expected, like...
I expected some flips and stuff.
Yeah, instead it's sort of just like, move a hand, turn.
Yeah,
it's almost more like
it's Super Sentai. That's all it is.
It's almost more like the end of Super Sentai episodes where some seasons they just have the guys there like marching to the music.
It's a combination victory pose and summoning the Dragon Zord. Like,
yeah, we need Dragon Zord power now.
Yeah,
and then the Power Ranger music plays, and someone complains that it's not Power Rangers, it's Super Sentai. I'm just shut the fuck up. Yes, and then Vmon was at their league opener. I wrote this in the middle of the night, and I posted this at...
I'm still sort of not sure what's going on.
I posted this at 1:30 in the morning, and I was not sure I was doing this accurately. Then when I woke up and checked, I'm like, oh, this is completely accurate in every way.
It's just reading it back and like, wait, this happened? What?
Okay, and then, because there's a whole wave of products, I wanted to at least feature the new movie Otadamas before we start going through like the wave of stuff that we're not going to pay attention to. These almost all look great. Almost. I feel like Ukomon does not necessarily translate well to the shape.
Ukomon does not work as an Otadama, no.
I feel like the hero of this batch of Otadamas is Shakuamon.
Shakuamon, yeah.
Shakuamon is the hero. I will say I love Dragon Mode also because it just looks like a tiny fat Imperial Dramon.
Yes.
Because like the layout is right anyway, so it's just like...
It works, yeah, Dragon Mode works better for these.
Although I will say, the one that feels like it's weird, Hikari works for me because her whole design for the beginning is like, it's a cute little bean thing. And then you look at Miyako, it's like, does Miyako look weirdly fat despite these being the exact same shapes?
I mean, they all look weirdly fat. They do,
but for some reason Miyako looks like... I think it's because her outfit, that art, it was always drawn as like almost like a cape poncho thing. Yeah. So seeing it like this looks weird, and Ken is just happy to be there, which they let him do now that he's not evil. Okay, and then...
Why can't they let him be evil?
And then we have theater products. We're not going over all these, but holy shit. Theater products.
Goddamn.
Yeah. I will say I love how the dioramas, both of them have spaces for everyone. So if you get both, you can actually do a full one with all the characters. Then after theater products, we knew this was coming because it was in V-Jump. Samurai Energy makes Jogress energy drinks. And they show a way too excited video of mixing them to make the Jogress drink. And also, the part that like I had to go, am I sure this is what this says? It's shiny if you shine a black light on it. I'm like, I'm not sure that's not the message you want to send with your beverage, I don't think, is...
Like, I don't want to drink something that does that.
Yeah, that's not necessary. That's not the best message. If you shine...
I guess you can see it when you sneak it into a rave.
Still. But yeah, so went over that. The drink names were not helpful because I kept thinking, oh, they have descriptions. What's the drink description? It's like Samurai Energy Joggers X. This is the flavor that will give you courage to take on the challenges, and it was created by imagining the evolution of the digital monster joggers. Great. What's the fucking taste? What's the flavor?
Has anyone ever has anyone ever identified a single flavor in an energy drink?
Piss. That's the
Other
default.
Than that,
literally last night, Milo messaged me. She's like, "I drank an energy drink way too late." I go, "What flavor is it?" And she named some flavor. I go, "Okay, it's not the normal default P." And she goes, "Yeah, I don't like those." They're also, the cans have serial numbers, QR codes to win prizes. I love how one of the prizes is a weirdly fancy framed version of the poster. Like, look at that. Does that look like something that people who buy energy drinks wants?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then they put out a statement because people were complaining that they were not able to find them. Samurai Energy went and checked stores, and there were some issues getting them out. Even though stores had them, they are now plentiful. I see non-stop people in Japan getting these.
If you want one, you gotta ask your dealer.
I really do want to know what the flavors fucking are. Like, are there actual flavors? So this is just like generic Red Bull yellow.
Raw berry.
It's extreme, and specifically the X with the dash and the T, because it's too extreme to put an E there. And then more products. So, theaters had mini Shikishi as part of their concession stands. This is where I had to say, enough's enough, because theaters started posting on social media like their combos they were putting together. And I grabbed the first image for one and started translating like what the combos. I'm like, I'm not fucking doing this. This is too much. I'm not going through the different theaters showing the movies and how they're putting together their fucking combos. This is, no, absolutely not. And then I moved on. I didn't do it. Yeah. The Toei store, very nice acrylic stands and really weird looking hoodies.
It's very busy.
Yeah, Toei store is also putting up the Otadama acrylic stickers, glass magnets, can badges, the O2 music box we found out about. That stuff is all up. They also put up basically every theater good they could. I did not list that because I went to the page, I looked at it, I went, I'm not doing this. Like, I go to great effort to try to.
You've suffered enough.
So
much left.
Only 52 items were up now. It was like 70 or 80 last night, because what's happening is they're going in and out of stock from people buying them. They brought back the O2 stitches. The designs for that look great. Those are up at the Toei store, as are all the Holy Ring products for those who want to order them. The Ukomon and Vmon plushes are in Crane Games. Every time I see that fucking Vmon plush, I just think of that fucking Muppet. Every fucking time I see. Then the big can badges are up from Brugela, and they're also up at some stores, and we got better preview images of them all, including the one where Hikari is about to go the way of Maud Flanders. Also, I'm still confused by the Louie and Ukumon one. I understand Ukumon being confused by a soccer ball. Why does Louie look like someone just told him the secret of life?
Louie has never seen a soccer ball in his life.
Like, is this edible?
Okay, then, yes. And then, okay, poll results. Here's the biggest surprise about the pendulum results. Virus Busters dominated more than it did a few years ago. More than one for every 3 vote was for Virus Busters. Virus Busters defeated all. Are we shocked at all, honestly?
No, we called this.
No.
Yeah.
Move on.
New poll. Favorite D3 toy. I have the Vmon. I have the version V blue from when it first came out. I don't know where it is. I definitely have it, though. I feel like that requires me to vote for that one. Although I think the best looking one, honestly, is the black and blue.
Yeah.
I think that's the best looking one and it's the most updated. Although I'm obligated to vote for the one I own. Okay, and then turbo mode for the Saturday stuff. Ghost Game Prints. For some reason, they're doing more to celebrate the movie. Museum. Yeah.
Yeah, Ghost Game still is a thing, apparently.
Museum products. They show little stands. I love the little art they have. They also have the Otodama for the others. Various people were posting the art to social media. Some really great ones. I love the weird little Miyako face of her yelling. That one's great. Also, Ken is there. Then they showed the Bandai head office O2 display. They showed it and Vmon went missing. We know why. It's just funny that it was posted as if this was like a concern. Oh, where is Vmon gone? Vmon has shit to do. Then various movie junk. Junk Honoda went to the Wall 9 and took photos of the cafe. She used. I don't know if this was bad translation on my part or if she used the word patrolling. Like she was patrolling the cafe. Then pictures from press, screening events. I love the weird little Hakamon image that he drew. More from the press image where they're drawing stuff up on stage, and Vmon isn't dead, he's there. Then, reference book update for Ukomon. I love that profile art.
Still looks like a fucked up Muppet.
Oh, it does, but still. Yeah. Then the social art is great. It's all 7 Digimon from the movie with a nice now showing thing. I love this so much.
It's very cute.
Then from week 2, from the weekend, AIM put up some Otodama for Halloween, wondering how Pumpmon and Gatsumon are doing. Tenya Buno put up Dreamers stuff from Chapter 19. Various accounts, like Digimon Web and Masashi Harada, who basically runs the Digimon brand at Bandai, like, Vmon's back. Masashi Harada's message was best. It's a nice day today. Vmon has returned for his work and is still working hard today. Thank you, Vmon.
Just took a weekend off. It's no big deal.
And then they took the Vmon promotional plush and put him with the water bottle.
He thirsty.
Fucking water bottle again.
Yes, there's weeks where I don't show it just because like there's nothing interesting, and then they show the Vmon pushing, and I'm like, oh fuck, I don't have a choice. Toei Museum shows off their various theater products. The Daisuke Vmon stamp has been popular enough they're keeping it for all of November. Then at the Twitter Spaces event, the person running it, who I believe is the producer from Digimon Partners, he was the audience along with a single Agumon plush who's sitting there looking very confused. They also put up a chart showing the 3 important Digivices from, now. You get the... I love whenever they use this name, because it rarely shows up. Taichi Digivice, Taichi, D3 Daisuke, and Digivice Louis. It's interesting how 2 of these are renders and 1 appears to be flat art, which is odd. Then they showed photos of Vmon at D-League. Yeah. Then
he won, by the way.
That's what I assume. And then Yuyuan Wong was interviewed on YouTube. A nice interview, him doing new art. For anyone who doesn't know, he was the writer and artist for the Digimon manhwas. Basically all of them back in the original run. Always nice to see his stuff popped up. He was also at an event where they had nice big displays of that Kizuna and the beginning promo art he did.
Nice.
I love the little caricature of him, by the way. Then, since the movie got 6th place its first week, they put up a little promo image. Honestly, the box office for the movie is almost exactly what you'd expect. If it has legs, I'm very hopeful for some nice home releases. We also got a few more photos of the theater. This was from Megumi Ogata, who plays Louis. She basically says she was a normal audience member, basically stealing glances at people to see their reactions. You're Shinji. I think you know what their reactions will be. Then there was another reference book update, which is kind of a spoiler for the movie. So instead, enjoy this potentially relevant photo of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. AR is one of the few people who can comment on yes or no if this is relevant. It's relevant-ish. I can tell you this, the reference book art will almost certainly be in the card rotation for the special in a week. I left this out on purpose because giving people what chance they can. It is relevant, though, I promise.
It just popped into my head, Mr. Stay Puft.
Exactly. And then, the biggest surprise, a few days after the movie came out, social art of Gatchmon going to watch the new movie.
Gatchmon out of nowhere.
Also, I think I should point out, I think it was Milo who did this. When she wrote something about this, she spelled Cameramon in a weird way, and my response was, I kind of fucking hate you right now because reading that makes me think it in my head the way he tells people to say it in the show. She spelled it with a K, and one of the letters had a
accent.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I fucking hated it because it made me read it as he tells people to say it. And then, if you're in chat and you want to ask a question, throw it up. We're going to be kind of speedrunning these because holy shit. Okay.
It's 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, God, it is 2 hours.
Yes, we're going to try to turbo run these. Questions in chat, hurry up. If they're spoiler ones, wait for next week. Someone hasn't decided if they want to see the dub or sub. Any thoughts if you've seen it? I think both are great ways to watch it.
Either way, whichever one you prefer. They're honestly both great.
Yeah, they're both.
Like, if you have the nostalgia kick for the dub, go. You can go ahead and see it.
If you want to see it sub, go see it sub. Go to whatever that makes sense for you. Do you know how to get the cards when you see the movie? Ask the theater. Theaters are very random with how they deal with fandom promotional shit. Here's the thing. If the ticket taker's a fan, the ticket taker may go grab all the packs and hand them to you as you walk in with the ticket. If you don't know, just ask. Thoughts on what Digimon will do after the new movie? Too early to say. I would hope we see something fresh. Whatever that is.
I'll tell you that, like, if we're talking about anime-wise, whether it is like anime or TV series, OAV movie, I think they go back to adventure. Whatever they do next.
Whatever makes money.
They're going back to, and I'll specify, they will go back to the original adventure universe. Like, we're not talking reboots or anything. It's going to be in this adventure universe. They are not done with this timeline.
Ask us this question in half a year, when we're in the midst of the 25th anniversary, and who knows. Do you think we get any more big news for Digimon this year? I think that's a sucker's bet, anyone that says no. I've seen multiple people go, oh, they're not going to announce new news. A movie just came out. We got the card game thing right after. I don't know what the news will be. There will be probably more relevant news for the year.
Yeah, they'll do something to keep the momentum up.
Although I will point out, because multiple people have asked and multiple people on Twitter don't know how movies work, this is not going to be streaming this year.
No.
I've seen multiple people go, there's still time for them to announce a 2024 stream. Is it impossible? No. Is it going to happen? No. Last chance for questions. Do I think there'll be a sequel to 2020? I'm not really expecting it. I expect if they ever did more 2020, it will not be stated what it's a sequel to. It's just going to be a new adventure branded thing, and we'll just all go, yeah, we know what this is. But it's not going to be branded as such, is my assumption. Which I think we said when 2020 ended.
Yeah, if they follow up on 2020, I think it's more likely that we get more adventure kids, not necessarily the 02 kids. I don't think I would expect that at all.
I want whatever gets me like a Kaiser Gem figure.
Yeah, it feels like that's one that they would have done already. Him on top of why is my brain frozen on Chimeramon?
Ooh, that'd be nice.
That'd be so expensive.
Then someone wants to know any movie merchandise you plan to get.
Hopefully my theater will have the cards ready. That's it.
The cards I'm hoping for, the promotional giveaway. I have the digital albums. I've pre-ordered the CDs. I'm not really like I like all
my
the
local convention has in February.
I
honestly.
like all the tchotchke crap,
really.
but I have an issue with getting stuff in space anyway, so I try to avoid that and wait for like stuff.
Yeah, I'll see what's available at like Fragment and Nostalgia and places like that.
Okay.
We'll see what they smuggle in.
Okay, here's a good question from Matthias. He's read some Japanese reviews. He's curious for us to say the accuracy of the first one is the movie felt a lot like Evangelion. Not really.
Not. It's in the sense that Ava, is all messed up and stuff. Like it kind of is in that. It has that vibe, but so does like everything else that came out since Ava.
Yeah, this isn't Ava. It's just not quite as bright as 02, I would say, but it's very 02.
You'll probably have one or two good Get in the Robot Shinji moments, but
yeah, it's not Evangelion. The second was a mother who brought her kid to the movie complained it was too gruesome. Gruesome may be the wrong word, but there was like someone who came in our Discord and said, my little kid, whoever, blah blah blah. I don't remember the age. I think the kid was 6 or 5. He's been watching 2020. He's really excited. I know he won't know the characters, but he kind of wants to go. What do you think? And my response is basically, I would absolutely not. There's stuff in the movie that kids would find disturbing, not because we'll get into it next week. There's stuff I would not want a kid to see.
No.
That the kid won't understand. It will bother them. I would not do that.
It's the gruesome level is worse than Ghost Game.
Yeah, I would not see gruesome. Oh, yeah, there is some gruesome stuff. Now, see,
there's a couple things I would call gruesome.
There is. I was thinking of a specific moment that we've discussed, but yes, you're right. There actually is some gruesome stuff, and I would say the very small horror moments out horror Ghost Game at every step.
That's fair.
Oh, come on, let the kids see it. I mean, my uncles were babysitting me when I was 4 and watching slasher films.
Here's the thing. If you know your kid, it is the parent who knows the kid and can make the decision. There's I watched violent shit when I was a kid, and my parents understood that I knew it was fantasy. It depended what it was. If your kid, there's certain things in the movie, and it's all pseudo-violence to some degree or another.
I mean, I wouldn't take my kid to it partially because of the gruesomeness and partially because I don't think they'd appreciate it as much.
Yeah,
it's kind of a thinky movie.
It's very thinky, and also, and this isn't spoilery at all, it very much wants you to think about it and make up your own mind.
Yeah.
At times, the movie goes out of its way to not answer the question. It will give you information, and then it wants you to figure it out.
Yeah. Which again is on par with trying. Yes. Try especially, but
I will say I appreciate what Maria said as we said, where it's like, oh, it's one of those movies. Yes, it wants you to think about it.
Everything adventure-verse beyond starting with Try has been that, so don't be surprised.
Yeah. Random Stuff asks, anything you would suggest for someone who just got back to this franchise, games, anime, since right now they can only do something else. So if you don't know what to find, but it's something you were in the franchise at one point, Adventures on Blu-ray in both forms, I know because I produced them and put in way too much work for them. So if you have a Blu-ray player, either of those is a great way to rewatch the show. The movies this week, if you remember season 2, you don't stuff like Kizuna and Try will provide some background for characters, but if you remember season 2 of those characters, you can just walk into the movie. You won't. You might miss some background character stuff, but it's fine.
Yeah,
it really is.
There are references to Try and Kizuna, but it's not to the point where you absolutely need to see them to understand what's going on.
If you remember Davis, Yoli, Ken.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
You can just walk in and you'll be fine. Games. So I really liked Survive for the first couple hours I played it. I've never picked it up since. Not because I dislike it. I just don't care enough to keep going. I got what I needed from the game the first time I played it.
I'll be more straightforward about that. Yeah, give Survive a try.
Yeah, it's worth trying. I'm just being honest about it.
And actually, if you're coming back for a long time,
pretty decent strategy game.
I would say asterisk that it is a
it's a good visual novel.
It is a good visual novel. It's an okay strategy game when you get strategy stuff, which is not enough.
Also, if you're coming back for a long time, look up Cyber Sleuth. Like
that's I found it on really good sale pretty often.
So Cyber Sleuth is often on sale. Cyber Sleuth is good as long as you're aware what you're walking into. I feel like the oversimplification and claiming how good it is actually does disservice to the game because it is presented to potential new fans as something it can't live up with.
It's a little clunky, but it's still fun to play.
Here's what Cyber Sleuth is as you would buy it now on the Switch or PC, which are the versions we recommend because it comes with it, the sequel, which is the complete edition as mentioned in chat.
Mm-hmm.
It's the game. It's an integral that takes place at the same time as the game. It is a very basic and often clunky JRPG with good characters, and it's kind of almost like a beginner JRPG. So if you're familiar with if you're familiar with the old stereotype of the JRPG, the classic Super Nintendo type games, it's a prettier version of that while it's an original story, it's very much based on the Digimon you'd remember from 20 years ago.
It's a Super Nintendo style RPG that manages to roll in an evolution system that is pretty simple to figure out. Sometimes it's a little awkward at times, but it's a little easier to understand than like the world style games.
It's basic but fun enough is the way I would put it.
Yeah.
I often waft on what grade I want to give the game because it's fun enough. It's also very basic and very clunky, but it's still fun. But yeah, if you can hit theaters Wednesday or Thursday, just go watch the movie. Frankly, even if you don't know the O2 kids, you can probably appreciate the movie for what it is. Honestly.
Just look at TV tropes, you'll be fine.
Yeah. Outside of that,
also watch Atmon. I'll say it. I'll be that guy.
I'll be the better one. Watch Cross Wars.
Cross Wars is if you're coming back from like just watching Adventure, Cross Wars is a good one to go for.
Also, depending on what you like, we'll all trash it to some degree. If you're looking for just action and fun, 2020 can be pretty solid. If you're looking for something a bit deeper, 2020 has some issues. If you just want, if you want Digimon Ball Z, 2020 is actually
2020. Yeah.
There's plenty
if you want deep character stuff like that Adventure, then you're basically going to probably try. I guess would be the character one.
Try is the character one, but that's the one where you kind of want Adventure and O2 in your head. Because somehow anyone who doesn't have O2 in their head, they go like drunk. They go drunk with stupidity on what Try is in this.
The problem with Try being a character thing is you really need to know the Adventure O2 characters to really appreciate it.
Yeah. The biggest suggestion I would give you though is if there's anything in your head that you want to try, you don't need us to tell you it's okay. Like if you go, I remember Frontier. I really like Frontier. I'm a Saint Seiya fan.
Actually,
go watch Frontier.
If you liked Frontier, then I think 2020 is also a solid choice there.
2020
and Frontier have the same flaws.
2020 weirdly connects to a lot of shit. It's fucking weird.
2020, if you liked Frontier, 2020 has the same good stuff about Frontier and the same bad stuff about Frontier.
Yeah. Let's see. Was there anything else? No. Edgardo, would the younger kids get bored in the movie? I would say at times. Other times,
probably.
It depends on the kid. I would say, the kids. Yes. You know the kids better than us. I think it's more likely they'll be bothered. To be honest,
the younger kids will be bored by this movie. I'll just say that.
Maybe look, they'll love the movie when they see the one thing towards the end. That was one of the most thrilling, if they're awake for it.
But the parts in between it is.
Yeah, let's be clear. Me and AR agreed on one thing. There's something towards the end, maybe 20, 25 minutes left, or even sooner than that. One of the most thrilling scenes in all of Digimon, period. Thrilling, well animated, looks amazing. That scene alone, I want the movie to get a 4K release. I want to see that scene as good as possible. Frankly, that scene alone is worth seeing it in theaters to see it better.
Yes. But again, getting up to it, the kids might be asleep by then.
Possibly. I believe that's it for chat. So that is it for questions. AR, have you done any? You've definitely done stuff.
I have done. I put up my review of the non-spoiler review of the beginning, and I'm putting up the spoilery full analysis thing on Friday.
And you were waiting to read mine until you did your spoilery one, right?
And I still need to do that.
Oh, did you already write?
No, I do need to write this. I was going to.
Yeah, because you wanted to do it not colored by my opinions, because I talk a lot in that fucking review.
Yeah.
Dev, what Wikimon article would you like people to read? Pick one.
Fuck it, Ukomon.
Hey, there you go.
The little Muppet deserves his place. So
the little Muppet gets a spot.
So just to clarify what we are doing for the movie, on Monday, same time as tonight, just a week, 7 p.m. Pacific, we will be here with the three of us, Jeff from Podigus and Onke-kun, who has translated stuff for the fandom for years, and I pulled her in to do translations for the official subtitled releases. We will be talking about the movie, Digimon Adventure 0 to the beginning. We will not be doing our normal news unless there is relevant movie news. Not merchandise, not whatever. It has to be actual, worth talking about. So probably not. We will have we will be discussing spoilers at that time. There will be the title cards will just be rotating movie screen caps, artwork, whatever. We will not be concerned about spoilers for that. If you show up for next week, there will be spoilers. Watch the movie first if you can. If you're not worried about spoilers, enjoy. Show up with questions if you can. We will answer them as best we can from our perspectives from seeing it. Me and AR will have seen both versions. Dev, which version were you seeing?
I can only see the dub because unfortunately I am working.
That's fine. It's honestly a pretty solid dub. Jeff has.
I would like to see both, honestly.
Jeff has the screener, so I assume he'll see both regardless of what he does. I don't remember which tickets Onke had, to be honest. So next week, movie.
We're gonna have to agree on a language when we discuss.
So we will catch you guys next week. We hope you'll show up. Thank you. A lot of people stuck with this one, and it was a very long one. We will catch you guys all We will catch you guys all next time for movie talk. Thanks again. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.